We're here today because we are absolutely outraged at the marketing materials that we have discovered for the Quarry Yards development. Welcome to the new Atlanta. Created for the new Atlanta. Okay? You can't send a message without considering the context of your message. And the context is that this community of Grove Park, where Quarry Yards is going to be built, is a historically Black community, at least for the last several decades, as well as a low-income community. Today we will be filing a fair housing complaint pursuant to the Civil Rights Act of 1968. I have here with me Ms. Diane Wright, former resident president of our public housing communities, Ms. Sharice Brown, a low-income tenant organizer, Mr. Joe Beasley, a Atlanta resident and a veteran of the Civil Rights Movement, and I am Matthew Charles Cardinale, a resident of the westside Hunter Hills. So the new Atlanta that they're looking for is revealed in their marketing materials, where you see a bunch of only Caucasian people sitting around the table together, where you see mostly Caucasian people walking through the illustrations of the development. Now, before they began this development, they studied this very neighborhood of Grove Park, and they discovered that the median income in Grove Park is $20,000. However, the apartments that they plan to build here at the Quarry Yards are priced at 2 to 3 times of what these residents can afford. So we are appalled at the message, welcome to a new Atlanta, because we believe in Dr. King's dream that the old and the new shall come together, that Black and white shall come together, that rich and poor shall come together. This facility is also receiving federal low-income housing tax credits. This development is receiving money through DCA, and they have received a federal designation as an opportunity zone. So we want to know who at the city, state, or federal level have reviewed these marketing materials and decided that it was acceptable to say that we are creating housing only for the new Atlanta, not for the old Atlanta. Many of us stood with the public housing residents when they were evicted from their communities over 10 years ago, and their communities were demolished and destroyed. And many of them were led to believe that they might have the opportunity to come back to the community one day. That's clearly a lie. We believe that the public housing demolitions was just the first step in a gentrification scheme that has led us to where we are today, where a developer would actually dare to say that this development is not for legacy residents. This development is not for our low-income seniors. This development is not for the families that send their children to the local school, and 98% of them are on free or reduced lunch.
Hi, I'm Sharice Brown, and I'm joining into this complaint because I am outraged. I'm sick and tired of the systemic racism, and I think this is deliberate to keep low-income and people of Black and brown color out of these developments.
That's right.
And I also think that HUD should think about how they recalculate the AMI. As for instance, as Mr. Cardinale just said, in that particular community, the income level is $20,000 and less. So they should have some 0 to 30% AMI set aside in this development. But I too want to hold our city, county, and federal politicians accountable, because how all of this keeps slipping through the cracks. All of these new developments, we need community benefit agreements that's binding. It's stating that when these new developments come, especially in federal subsidies, should have some 0 to 30% AMI set aside for low-income people. People that's retired, people that's working at Burger King, Walmart. You know, this should be Atlanta for all. You know, and the legacy tenants are the ones being pushed out and the ones that held these communities down all these years.
That's
and
right.
we're sick and tired.
When we came to town, white flight. Okay. Now they're tired of the brothers and sisters of the lighted hue. Saying we're tired of driving 2 hours back and forth to work, so we want the town back. So we got a decision being made. And going back a couple of mayors, so there was a couple of saying there's too many poor people in Atlanta. Where you're going somewhere, getting out of here.
Okay.
And so all of this development, all beautiful, but the people are left out. Now, I served as vice chair of task force for homeless for many, many years. Of course, it wasn't a matter of shelter on Peachtree Street, but really black men on Peachtree Street. This is a street for decent people. People are coming in, tourists. Black mom. So there, so when we get down to reality, we need to stop taking sound bites.
Hi, how are you? A community created for the new Atlanta. Okay, and I want you to observe the complexion of everybody in this picture. Okay, and this is a development that is going to be coming up in Grove Park, a historically black low-income neighborhood. And this is their marketing materials.
Okay.
Welcome to the new Atlanta. Okay, so they are intentionally excluding our legacy residents who deserve a safe, sanitary, affordable place to live.
This is a fair housing complaint. This is the gentleman that handles all of the fair housing.
I understand that. But if we ask for a regional director, he's not.
She's not available. She's not in the building right now. She's so she's not here.
So maybe we can request
Let me suggest this, what has happened historically. Is she black?
No. She is African American, but I really would like to focus more on the discrimination case, primarily on the campus.
Not so much what you'd like to focus on.
This is one of the first times, this is one of the first and few times, and I've been with public housing, I've been a public housing president for 24 years. And I had a relationship with Dave Gibson and Boyce Norris. And we had the residents of public housing, presidents, we had relationships. And this is one of the few times that I've been here that we were not allowed to go up and speak with the CEO, the regional director. This is one of the few times. And it has never been like this. This office has always been friendly towards presidents and leaders from the community. And this is the first time that I've ever experienced anything like this.
Well, let me set the record straight. Let me set the record straight. The regional administrator is not here and not available. If you want to meet with her, then we can go ahead and entertain that request. But she's just not available. She's not.
We definitely want to request that. We would
Okay,
love
so
to make
let's
that
take
request.
that. Let's take that request first. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
I'll give you my card so you can go ahead and contact me for that.
And I want to get the record straight too, and let it reflect that we were not greeted and meted out in the lobby like this right here. I hear what you're saying, but I just want the record to reflect that we were not treated like this.
Okay.
I just
Are you the person about?
I'm the complainant number one.
Okay.
And this right here is the original copy of the complaint. Okay. It's based the same as this, but we did add a fourth complainant. which is Ms. Sharice Brown right here.
Okay.
So our four complainants, I'm Matthew, this is Joe,
Okay.
Sharice Brown, and Diane Wright are the four
Right.
co-complainants.
So let me explain
Now,
my role.
we
Let me
also
explain
have,
my role.
we also have this attachment
I
that,
can take whatever you have.
that is the offensive marketing materials that are at issue in the complaint.
Okay. Okay, so my role, I'm the intake branch chief for FHEL Region 4.
Wonderful.
Right? And so my job is to process fair housing complaints to determine if they meet the elements to file a fair housing complaint.
Yes.
So that normally takes 30 days, but in this instance, we're going to expedite the complaint to try to get
Hallelujah.
the process within 20 days.
Thank you.
Right now, I have my cards upstairs. I can give you my name and direct phone number. What will happen is if you give me your email address today, you'll get an email identifying who's going to file, who's going to assess your complaint for jurisdiction.
For jurisdiction.
Right, and that person will be communicating with you directly regarding the process of your complaint.
Okay. We are aware that the Atlanta office for fair housing has recently had some backlogs and has taken some time to get to complaints that have been filed. You talked about expediting this,
Right.
and we just want to make sure we don't get buried or lost.
Right. I'm going to give you an email today to let you know who you will be talking to regarding the filing of your complaint. The
Okay.
assessor assigned your complaint. You will get that today.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Wonderful.
So my job is to make sure that the complaint meets the elements for itself in jurisdiction.
Okay.
So that's what I do.
Well, I
And
just
then we send it to an investigator if it meets the elements to itself in
So
jurisdiction.
who is the national representative? Would that be the Congress? Do you go to Congress or is somebody over y'all?
It's the HUD secretary. Secretary of HUD is over
Well,
HUD.
I know who Carson is, but I'm saying, how do John Lewis fit in? He our congressman, and they authorize money to her.
He's basically your elected representative, and you're
Okay.
more than welcome to reach out to him.
Okay.
He's right up the street.
Yeah.
You also have my email address as well, so you feel free to get in contact with me.
You don't have to
So-
see it, we can come down here.
You do a national inquiry.
Well, you can go ahead and reach out to me, and I can be glad to help you as much as I can.
Okay. I just wanted to note that there really wasn't a lot of space on this form to, so we put as much as we could.
Okay.
So I just made a little note here that all complainants believe that we've been harmed and that we all wish to reside at this property.
Okay.
There wasn't necessarily enough room to say everything, so
Right.
we had hoped we would have that opportunity
Yeah, well-
before you make a
Okay.
determination.
Well, what the process is, during the assessment process, we will request additional information.
Wonderful. Okay,
they
so
will
this
do that.
isn't
Right.
the end of
This
it.
is not the end, right?
you.
There's an
Okay.
assessment process, and we gather information to determine. So let's say that something's missing, or we need to clarify something. That's what the analyst does, and then they make the decision on the filing of the complaint.
Wonderful. So to review, you have taken our complaint.
Yes.
You have my email address.
Yes.
We will have additional opportunities to talk with the analyst.
Yes.
And we will be scheduling a meeting with the regional director,
You
hopefully.
contacted me with regards to requesting a meeting, that's correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you very
So I'll
much.
be
Thank you
back
for
with the
taking this
business
serious.
card.
Thank you. No, thank you guys for
Okay.
coming. I
I'll
appreciate it.
be back
Thank
with
you
the
so much.
business card.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we'll wait for your card.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am, very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We're gonna go through the same thing we did before. I know. Life, just like they did before. Five lawsuits and none of them got answered.